Hello, Bellevue Heights Church BHC. Today, we all do it, probably every day. It has a huge impact on the way we view ourselves and the way that we respond to others. It's one of the main reasons we experience so much conflict in our relationships. And the scary thing is, we barely recognize that we're doing it. So what is this thing that we all tend to do that causes so much harm? We forget the generosity of God. In the busyness of our lives, we sadly forget how much our lives have been blessed by and radically redirected by the generosity of the Lord. The fact that He blesses us when we deserve nothing fades from our memories like a song whose lyrics we once knew, but now cannot recall. Every morning, God's generosity greets us in at least a dozen ways, but we barely recognize it as we recklessly prepare for our day. When we lay our exhausted heads down at the end of the day, we often fail to look back at the many gifts from God's hands into our little lives. We often don't take time to sit and reflect on what our lives would have been like if the generosity of the Redeemer had not been written into our personal stories. And sadly, we all tend to be way too forgetful. And there are few things more dangerous in the Christian life than forgetfulness. Forgetfulness is dangerous because it shapes the way you think about yourself and others. And when you remember God's generosity, you also remember that you simply did nothing whatsoever to earn this blessing. And when you remember His generosity, you're humble and you're thankful and you're tender. And when you remember His generosity, complaining gives way to gratitude, and self-focused desire gives way to worship. But when you forget God's generosity, you proudly tell yourself that what you have is what you achieved. When you forget His generosity, you take credit for His blessings. When you forget His generosity, you name yourself as righteous and deserving, and you live in an entitled and a demanding life. When you forget God's generosity and you think you're deserving, you find it very easy to withhold generosity from others. Proudly, you think that you're getting what you deserve, and they are too. And your proud heart is not tender, so it's not easily moved at the troubles of others. You forget that you are more like than unlike your needy brother and sister, failing to acknowledge that neither of you stands before God as deserving. So this Thanksgiving season, will you remember the generosity of God? Because remembrance produces upward worship, inward humility, and outward generosity. So give thanks, be humble, be generous, because the blessings you receive from the Lord are not what you deserve. Have a great day, my friends. God bless.